My friends, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the CAGED system and how it applies to soloing. That's right. You can take the same CAGED system that I've shown you and you can apply this to soloing. You can apply this to your pentatonic forms, also known as pentatonic modes. Some people call it that. But essentially, you can look down, see where they're all at immediately, and I'm going to teach this to you in less than 10 minutes. Mike, you got a timer?
I have a timer.
Let's do this, okay? So less than 10 minutes. Here we go, right? Mike, also, if you have that image, let's put that on the screen there as well. Yeah. Bing! There it is. All right, so check this out. Basic concept of the CAGED system is that you can play the same chord across the fretboard, right? We've been over this. If you don't know it, then you're gonna get lost on this video, and then you need to watch my other video that we just did on this, okay? But here you go, CAGED, right? Taking the forms C, A, G, E, and D, right? Taking those basic forms and then playing them up the fretboard, but all based off of the same bass note, in this case, a C bass note. Because even though these chords, C, A, G, E, and D, are down here, we could play them further up the neck in the appropriate key, and then we have that particular chord. Like for instance, C chord, C form, because it looks like a C chord. C chord, A form, because it looks like the A chord. G form, but a C chord, because it looks like the G chord, but it's a C chord, because it only has C, E, and G in it. And then of course, our E form, but it's an actual C chord. Here's E form, moved up here to the C bass note. And then lastly, we have a D form, but it's also a C chord, right? It's all C. Now, you can see right here on the diagram on the screen there, so look at that orange chord there. See that? That's what I'm playing right here, okay? Now the bass note there is green and orange because it pivots off of the green chord that's right after that, okay? So there you go. You got that C chord there. It's the C form, only C, E's, and G's in it, and then you can see the surrounding pentatonic form that's right by it, right? And so, you can see those orange notes fit right into it perfectly. Now again, the reason we're using this is because if we understand the CAGED system, which dear God, my friends, if you have not learned it already, it's super easy. It won't take you very long at all, I promise you. It's just a concept. You don't even have to, you want to practice it, but it's just a concept, and once it turns on, it turns on. This is one of those things that really is, once I show it to you, you got it, right? But you got to get it. And then those pentatonic forms fall right underneath it perfectly. So do diatonic forms, but we're just talking pentatonic right now because it just makes a lot more sense, okay? And then here's our toggle, there's our C, and then we got the A form. Now we're looking at the green chord, right? This green chord that's right, boop, 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 right there, right? That's that E, that's that A form, because it looks like an A chord, but I'm moving it up with a C bass note there, and that becomes our C chord. And of course, look at the form that falls perfectly into that. Now at first, when I first did this, I was like, well, that's not very obvious, but as I worked with it more, it became more obvious. You You know, but you can see the chord right in there. Now, why is that helpful? Is because if it's a song in the key of C and we're doing things like accenting the chord, then boom, we've got it all laid out right there, plus our scale. So we want to start noodling with some of those notes, right? We can rest on the appropriate chord tones, okay? Let's bump up. Now, this is the fifth string roots, right? Fifth, because it has the root in the fifth string, right? And then we have the sixth string roots, which is our G. G form, still a C chord. G form, because it looks like the G chord. G form, and our E form. E form, because it looks like the E chord, but it's a C chord, right? Listen. Same flavor. And now look, here's our old classic, what we call number one, our number one pentatonic form, right? Except we usually, you know, think about it with the A in the bass. In this case here, it's a major pentatonic. Right? There it is. You can see that. And you can see that the chord is like that dark blue. Again, when you see the notes, by the way, take a picture of this right now. You ready? Here you go. Okay, now it's yours. And you have my face on it as well, which is a bonus. So there you go. Now look at these dots, right? They're green and blue because they share a couple notes. So right here, those three notes, right there at the 5th fret, those three notes are green and blue because they're also part of our next chord. So they share that same note together. So that also brings us to yet another form. So we have this, right? And then we have this form here, which is, well, some refer to as form 2. And now you got this little arpeggio right there. In all of these you have arpeggio. So this is great, you know, when that C chord comes along. How about that? So I can do that little rake right across that and it works out perfectly. So yet another form there. Now, lastly, we got this so now what we're looking at here is far there, right there, that green one, right? Plus, look at, there's our bass note there. So we're basing this off of a D form, right? Now, basing that off that D form. Now, some of this, you're saying like, I don't know the D form. I don't know what you're talking about. C form, A form, what are you talking about? I'm talking about those 9 essential chords. I teach these all the time, friends. If you don't know them, you gotta know them. Some of this stuff, if it's going over your head like these forms, friends, it just means you're not in UGS Standard. First link below. Getting there. The top 30 lessons I teach all my students. We've had 500,000 people go through it. Massive life changer for the guitar. Will massively change things for you, and it's there for free. Boom. First link below. If you don't have enough time to click on that link, you can text me. That's right, and I'll do the work for you. Text this number right here, FREE, to that number right there. I'm doing this because I obviously have time to spare. Click that number right there, FREE. If you're in UGS Pro or UGS Standard already, then just text me there, UGS, and we'll be little pen pal buddies, little text buddies, okay? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so there you go. So there you got that D form right there at the top, right? Once you know these forms, these are what I call the 9 essential forms, or the 9 essential chords. These are 5 of them. This is the D right there. And you can see that sorry, mistake there. Drop down to the C there, or there's the C. But nonetheless, that form fits right in there. So again, now what are we doing with this? This is what it's gonna do. If you get lost on the fretboard, if you understand the CAGED system, it's one more layer, if you will, to understanding the fretboard. There's lots of little tricks to master the fretboard. And if you know these tricks, it makes it so much easier. So what we're doing is we're just taking the CAGED system here, doing it across the fretboard like we would with the chords, but voila, the scales fit right underneath it too. And you can even get into diatonic playing, as I said, major minor playing as well, not just major minor pentatonic, but major minor diatonic, right? 7-note scale. You can get into that as well with this. And if you're familiar with it, all that stuff's gonna fall underneath your fingers anyhow, okay? There you go. Friends, that's it. Super easy stuff. Please, if you would, like this video. If you liked it, if I helped you, if you're still watching this, then I did help you, right? Hit subscribe, notification bell if we're buddies, and if you want me to do this more, because it really helps when you do that. Leaving your comments below, all that good stuff. Of course, I can't get to the chat. You know this. It's the new format. But I'm here to help you. You can always hit me up at that text, and also on all my social media. Mike, where am I on social media? Right there. And all those places right there. So visit me there, especially on Instagram. I can answer you quickly. Oh, plenty of time to spare. All right, friends, I'm out of here. I'll see you.